Hey everyone, Noir here. Let's get into today's Reddit story.
My girlfriend's friend sent me a text that completely caught me off guard. I hate to be the one telling you this, but Lauren's been seeing someone else behind your back. I replied with just one message. Thanks. I'll handle it. The next morning, I changed my flight and flew home without telling anyone. When I opened our apartment door, Lauren was laughing with another man. The moment I saw who was sitting beside her, everything changed. My name is Nathan. I am 35 years old, and Lauren and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a friend's birthday party and bonded over our love of terrible horror movies. After that night, we were almost inseparable. She was spontaneous, while I preferred to plan ahead. She was creative, and I was practical. I always believed we balanced each other perfectly. My job sometimes requires travel, usually for 1 or 2 weeks at a time for conferences, training, or client meetings. This trip took me to Denver for a 2-week conference, followed by several meetings. I left on a Monday morning near the end of September, kissed Lauren goodbye, and promised I would call her every evening. Everything changed on Thursday during the first week. I was sitting in my hotel room reviewing presentation notes when my phone buzzed. The message came from an unknown local number. Hi Nathan, this is Megan, Lauren's friend from yoga. I hate to tell you this, but Lauren has been seeing someone else behind your back. I thought you deserved to know. I'm sorry. I stared at the screen for almost a minute. I had only met Megan a couple of times while picking Lauren up after yoga. We had never exchanged numbers or talked beyond polite greetings. My first instinct was to call Lauren, but I stopped myself. If Megan was telling the truth, calling would only give Lauren time to come up with an explanation. If she was wrong, I still wanted to know why she had sent that message. Instead, I replied, Thanks. I'll handle it. Right after that, I changed my flight from the following Friday to the next morning. It cost me an extra $300, and I would miss the last 2 days of the conference. But none of that mattered anymore. I barely slept that night. I kept thinking about the weeks before I left. Had I missed something? Lauren had been using her phone more, but that wasn't unusual. She had gone out with friends a few times, which was normal. She seemed a little distant, but I blamed it on work. Maybe I had simply ignored the signs. The flight home felt endless. I landed around 2 in the afternoon and took a rideshare straight to our apartment. By the time I reached the 4th floor, my hands were shaking. Before I got to the door, I heard voices. Lauren was laughing. Then I heard a man's voice. I stood there for a moment, took a breath, unlocked the door, and walked inside. Lauren was sitting on the couch wearing my favorite sweater. Next to her was a man I had never seen before. Their shoulders were almost touching, and he was holding a glass of wine. Both of them looked up as I entered. Nathan? Lauren said, quickly standing up. What are you doing here? You weren't supposed to be back until next week. Obviously, I replied as I closed the door. Then I looked at the man. And you are? He stood up awkwardly. I'm Tyler. He's a friend from work, Lauren interrupted. I told you about Tyler. She hadn't. I had never heard that name before. Did you? I asked calmly, even though my heart was pounding. Because I don't remember you ever mentioning Tyler. And I definitely don't remember you saying you'd be spending time alone with him in our apartment while I was away. It's not like that, Lauren said. We were just having lunch and talking about work. She looked at Tyler. Maybe you should go. He nodded. Yeah, that's probably best. Nice meeting you, Nathan. I'm sure it was. He grabbed his jacket and left. As soon as the door closed, Lauren looked at me. Why did you really come home early? I got a text from Megan. My friend from yoga? She said you've been seeing someone behind my back. Lauren's face immediately turned red. Megan texted you? She had no right. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So you're not seeing Tyler? No. We work together. We're just friends. Friends who spend time alone in our apartment while I'm out of town? It isn't strange for coworkers to be friends. It is when you've never mentioned him before. Is why you look so nervous now that I came home early. She dropped back onto the couch and ran both hands through her hair. You're overthinking this. Am I? Then why would Megan think you were cheating on me? I have no idea. Maybe she misunderstood what she saw. Maybe she's jealous or just trying to stir up drama. You know how people can be. That answer didn't sit right with me. What do you mean by that? You know, people assume things and create drama when there isn't any. I looked around the living room. 2 half-empty wine glasses sat on the coffee table beside a takeout container from Lauren's favorite Thai restaurant. 2 pairs of chopsticks. How long has Tyler been here? Maybe an hour. We picked up lunch and came back to talk about work. Where's the work? She froze. If you were working, where are the laptops? The documents? Anything related to this project? She couldn't answer. I pulled out my phone and called Megan. She answered after the 3rd ring. Megan, it's Nathan. I need you to tell me exactly what you saw. Lauren tried to stop me, reaching for my phone, but I stepped away. Megan spoke calmly. I saw them Tuesday afternoon at the coffee shop on Maple Street. They were holding hands across the table. At first I thought I was mistaken, but then Lauren leaned over and kissed him. It wasn't long, but I know what I saw. My stomach dropped. Tuesday. I'm really sorry, Nathan. I debated whether I should tell you, but if I were in your place, I'd want someone to tell me. Thank you, I said quietly. I appreciate it. I ended the call. Lauren was staring at me, searching for the right words. Megan saw you and Tyler on Tuesday, holding hands. She watched you kiss him. Her expression completely changed. Nathan, don't, I interrupted. No more lies. Just tell me the truth. She broke down crying. When she finally started explaining, it only made everything worse. Tyler had joined her company about 2 months earlier. They worked on the same project, started getting coffee after meetings, then lunches, then drinks after work. She claimed nothing physical happened until the previous week, as if that somehow made it easier to accept. It was only emotional before then. Only emotional? I repeated. You built a whole relationship with another guy, and you think I should feel better because you only slept with him last week? I never planned for this to happen. I was confused. You were making choices. She wiped away tears. You travel so much. When you're home, you're exhausted. Tyler made me feel noticed. So now this is my fault? No. I'm saying our relationship had problems, and instead of dealing with them, I made a terrible decision. Not one decision, I said. Weeks of decisions. Weeks of lying to me. She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. Can we fix this? She whispered. Please. I love you. Do you love me? I asked. Or are you just afraid of losing me? She couldn't answer. I walked into our bedroom and packed a bag. Lauren followed behind me, crying and begging me to stay. I packed enough clothes for a week, grabbed my toiletries and laptop. Where are you going? My brother Brandon's place. I need some space. How long? I honestly don't know. On the drive there, I called Brandon. He immediately told me I could stay as long as I needed. He asked what had happened, but I wasn't ready to talk. That night, lying on his couch, I scrolled through 3 years of photos of Lauren and me. Vacations, date nights, quiet Sunday mornings. I kept wondering if she'd been unhappy all along, or if I had simply missed what was happening. Around 11 that night, my phone buzzed. A text from Lauren. I'm so sorry. Please come home so we can talk. I didn't answer. About an hour later, another message came in. I ended things with Tyler. I told him it was a mistake. Please give us another chance. I turned off my phone and tried to sleep. Update 1. The next few days passed in a blur. I took time off work and told my boss there had been a family emergency. Lauren kept texting me, apologies, explanations, promises that everything would be different. I read every message but hardly replied. On Monday night, Brandon finally sat me down. So what are you going to do? I honestly don't know. Do you want to try to save the relationship? I don't know that either. Part of me does because we had 3 good years together. But how am I supposed to trust her again? Every time I travel, I'll wonder who she's with. Brandon nodded. Those are the questions you need to answer before you decide anything. The next day, Megan texted me again. I heard from Lauren. She's really upset. I just want you to know I didn't tell you because I wanted to break you two up. I told you because if I were in your situation, I'd want someone to tell me. I told you because if I were in your position, I'd want someone to tell me. I hope you're doing okay. I thanked Megan and asked if she'd be willing to meet for coffee. She agreed. We met Wednesday afternoon at a cafe away from our neighborhood. In person, she was even quieter than I remembered and clearly uncomfortable talking about everything. How much did you actually see? I asked. The truth, she replied after a deep breath. I saw them together 4 different times over about 2 weeks. They always met at the same coffee shop. They acted like a couple, holding hands, laughing, leaning toward each other. Then on Tuesday, I saw them kiss. That's when I knew I couldn't stay quiet. Did Lauren notice you? I don't think so. I was sitting in the back and left before they did. Why tell me? You barely know me. Because it was the right thing to do. I know what it's like to be cheated on while everyone else knows except you. Nobody deserves that. I thanked her for being honest. We stayed there for another hour. She shared what happened with her own ex, and I told her everything that had happened over the past few days. Do you think I should give Lauren another chance? I asked. That's your decision, Megan said. But after my ex cheated, everyone told me people make mistakes and relationships are worth saving. I believed them. 6 months later, he cheated again. You think Lauren would do the same? I think there's a difference between one bad decision and weeks of lying. When someone can keep deceiving you every day, that tells you a lot about who they are. Her words stayed with me. Update 2, Thursday night, Lauren called instead of texting. I almost ignored it, but eventually answered. Nathan, please, can we meet? I need to talk to you face to face. I don't know if I'm ready. It's been almost a week. We can't avoid this forever. This is still our home. She had a point. Fine. Tomorrow. 7 o'clock. When I walked into the apartment Friday evening, I could tell she'd been preparing all day. Everything was spotless. Fresh flowers were on the table, and she'd made my favorite dinner, chicken parmesan. I wanted to do something nice, she said. I want you to know I'm serious. We sat down to eat, but the conversation was painful. She apologized again, promised it would never happen again, and suggested couples counseling. I'll do whatever it takes, she said. I'll delete Tyler's number. I'll even quit my job if that's what you need. That's not the problem. Then what is? The problem is that you chose him. Every single day for 2 months, you chose him and lied to me. And the only reason any of this ended is because you got caught. That's not true. I ended it before you came home. Because Megan told me. If she hadn't, how much longer would it have gone on? She couldn't answer. The part I can't get past, I continued, is what you told me before. Maybe I was gone too much. Maybe I was tired when I got home. Maybe I wasn't the perfect boyfriend. But instead of talking to me, you started another relationship. That wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. People make mistakes when they're unhappy. And they have to live with the consequences. She looked down. So, you're ending this? I think I am. She started crying again. Please don't. I love you. I'll spend every day proving it if you let me. I believe you love me, I said quietly. But I don't trust you anymore. I don't think I ever will. I stood up. I'll come back this weekend and pack my things. The lease is in both our names. If you want to stay, I'll transfer my half. If you'd rather end it, we'll break it together. I don't want the apartment, she whispered. I want us. I know, but I can't give you that. Then I walked out. Final update. 3 months have passed. In November, I moved into a smaller apartment across town. It's nothing special, but it's mine, and there are no memories waiting for me every time I walk through the door. The breakup ended more peacefully than I expected. Lauren didn't argue about dividing our things. We split everything fairly, said goodbye, and went our separate ways. Later, mutual friends told me that she and Tyler officially became a couple. Apparently, they decided to give the relationship a real chance once I was out of the picture. Whether they're still together doesn't matter to me anymore. Megan and I stayed friends. There's nothing romantic between us. We just went through a strange situation together, and she still checks in from time to time to see how I'm doing. Last week, my brother Brandon asked if I regretted ending things with Lauren. I thought about it for a moment. No, I said. I regret wasting those years. I don't regret walking away. She showed me exactly who she was when our relationship was tested. I'm grateful I found that out before we got married, had children, or built an even bigger future together. The strange thing about betrayal is that it brings everything into focus. Before Megan sent that text, I honestly believed Lauren and I would probably get married one day. I could have spent years with someone who looked for comfort somewhere else whenever life became difficult. Thankfully, I learned the truth before it was too late. Since then, I've gone on a few dates, but nothing serious. I'm not trying to rush into another relationship. Right now, I'm learning to trust my instincts again and recognize the warning signs I ignored before. I've also realized that being alone is far better than sharing your life with someone who still makes you feel lonely. Last week, Lauren sent me one more message. I hope you're doing well. I still think about you sometimes. I never replied. There was nothing left to say. The truth is, I'm doing well. Better than I expected. I'm building a new life on my own terms, surrounded by people who value honesty, loyalty, and trust. The conference I missed turned out not to be a problem. My boss understood the situation, and I caught up on everything afterward. My career is doing well. My family has supported me from the beginning. My friends have been there whenever I needed them. Every morning I wake up in my own apartment, make myself a cup of coffee, and start the day without wondering whether the person I love is lying to me. That peace of mind is worth more than I can ever explain.